We just purchased a brand new trailer, has brand new tires on it. We drove it home, so it has less than 500 miles on it. And so what we're doing is you want to change out those stock tires. They're barely put on there. They just work for the weight of that trailer as if it was empty. They just enough to get you home. Their speed rating will be lower. In California, it's not quite so bad because you have a speed of, you're only supposed to do 55 when you're pulling anything, whether you're in a car or a truck or a big rig, doesn't matter, it's 55. Out of state, however, the speed limit is the speed limit for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're pulling 3 trailers or 2 trailers, if you're in a truck or a car, makes no difference. Speed for everybody's the same, doesn't matter what you're doing. So we're upgrading the tires, and these have a maximum speed rating of L, which on here they're 75 miles an hour. For this, it has a load range D. I don't know if you could see that, and that means that it's only a 2150 pounds. And those, so we're going to upgrade that. We're upgrading that to over here, and these are, their maximum load rating is 2830, and this is a load range E. If you can see over here, that's your load range E, and has a speed rating of N, so it's like 89 miles an hour. So that gives you just enough if you're going to be out of state driving. And I know we're going to take this trailer out of state. We're planning on that. So I don't necessarily want to do 80 miles an hour in a trailer, but if you don't try to keep up at least within a reasonable speed of what the traffic's flowing, you're going to get run over, or someone's going to run you off the road. And these tires were made, I don't know if you can see that number, let's see if I can, in the 19th week of 2025. So these are really new tires, whereas these are, if I can find it on this side, oh, this one's newer than the other ones. This is in the 50th week of 23. So they're a little older anyway. So, and I don't know if I went over speed balancing, or my bead balancing. I like to use bead balancing. That way the tire, if there's a heavy spot here, or if this spot becomes light, beads will move into that spot and take care of that location. So if the tire has a heavy spot or heavy area, the beads will move around inside the tire, and they just constantly are rebalancing the tire. I use it in my motorcycles, my trucks, my cars. They work really well. So what we have is they don't work until you get up about 30 miles an hour. Under 30, they're not really doing anything. They're just rolling around inside the tire, rolling and falling. They don't really get that centrifugal force. They don't really get moved into their spot that they need to be in. So once you get above 30, then they move around the tire in a heavy spot, which will hit the road surface. They'll move away from that, and then it'll rebalance the tire. If you have a motorcycle, make a mark on your rim right where your valve stem is, and you'll see right on the tire and on the rim, right where your valve stem is, you'll see that your front tire moves in one direction, and your rear tire moves in the other direction due to acceleration and braking. You don't really expect it to move much on a trailer. It could. Probably always going to move in one direction. You know, the rim's going to be spinning faster than the tire's trying to go. The tire's trying to slow down. So, but they put beads in here, and they didn't even open up the bag. And I think in some ways that's okay. I'm going to reuse this one, because this is probably about 2.5 ounces. So I'm going to make sure that I put them, I'm going to reuse this one, and I would think that this bag is so thin that after a few miles it would break open. At least I'm hoping. The other one, I'm going to do the other tires. This is my spare, so I'm going to change all my tires out, including the spare. And so this is the spare rim, and we'll change out the others and probably see how it should have broken open by now. But it was kind of interesting that they didn't bother breaking it open, but probably because it's going to break open on its own. There you go. So, you know, it's a good idea to change your brand new trailer tires. They don't always put the best on there.